So how is soil sampling changing? Well, I think the sort of the gold standard really is to use these physical samples that we collect from multiple points in the field, combine them, right, bring them back to the laboratory and analyze them for carbon by actually combusting the sample and measuring the CO2 that's produced. And so that's really the gold standard, but as you can imagine, right, this ends up being really time consuming in terms of labor for collecting and processing the samples, and somewhat expensive in terms of analyzing those samples for carbon concentration. And so there are new methods afoot now that whereby people are trying to develop technologies to actually measure carbon out in the field using various approaches. Oftentimes these involve sticking probes into the ground and measuring carbon by spectroscopic methods. There's other methods that aim to simplify various aspects of the sampling and analysis pipeline. So you might do the same sort of approach where you collect physical samples in the field and bring them back to the laboratory. However, as opposed to using what we call combustion elemental analysis, where we have these tiny samples that we combust and measure the CO2, there are some other approaches that avoid that last step and actually use optical methods for measuring the amount of carbon in the sample. So there's various ways that people are trying to tweak these long used practices to try to increase the throughput and decrease the cost. So there's some exciting developments being made there.